I don't know what's happening. Okay, we're live. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Hey, okay. Sorry about all of the technical difficulties, everybody. I am slowly figuring out how to use StreamYard for the first time. Just wanted to say hello, hello, hello. I'm here with the amazing, wonderfully talented Steven from Craven Something Scary. Steven, you are the first guest on KillJoy Jake ever. How does it make you feel?
I am honored, I'm moved, I'm touched, and profoundly impacted to be the very first ever guest on a live stream on your channel. I'm telling you what, this is the pinnacle of today. Anyway, no, this is the pinnacle. This is great, Jake. Seriously, thank you, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Dude, thank you so much. Okay, so I was gonna be honest with that. I'm gonna be honest with everybody, just straight up. Like I downloaded StreamYard today to get more people on the channel, and Steven calls me and he's like, Jake, I have a crazy Scream 6 theory for you. And I'm just like, listen, say no more, Steven. We got to just get on a live right now. I don't care. I don't care if I'm not prepared with StreamYard. We got to do this. The people have got to get their news right now, Steven. So
yes.
You have an amazing theory. I will let you just take it, roll with it. And then we'll get to some of these amazing comments that I'm seeing from some beautiful people in the chat.
Absolutely. I'm happy to do it. Okay, guys, so buckle up. So I got a tip from a friend who's in Montreal, Canada. Okay, they live there and have a real popular YouTube channel, like a travel channel. So I get a tip about the production office location for Scream 6. So he gives me that tip. I'm like, this is great. So then I start to go digging. So I have the address from Production Weekly, which is the trade publication that comes out for Hollywood and the film industry. And it has the address there in the magazine publication. So anyway, I go to Google Maps and put in the address, and I got it. I lock it in, screenshot it, and then here it is. You ready, Jake? You ready for this?
I'm ready for it. Hit me with it, Steven.
Bro, let me tell you what. This is ready for your mind to go boom. All right, across the street, directly across the street from the production offices that that Radio Silence and the team has rented out to film this movie is McGill University in Canada. It's one of the most known institutions in Canada. It's a freaking college. It's a huge college campus directly across the street. I mean, directly across the street. You could walk across the street and you're on the campus from their production offices where they're setting up shop in Montreal. All right, so this is the first thing. All right, this is huge. My mind at this point is saying, "Oh my gosh, this is insane." Well, here's the next thing. So not only are they across the street from them, we now have, and I think you also dropped it as well. We both dropped videos just the last few hours on the filming dates. Well, Jake, guess what?
Oh, man.
Here we go. June the 6th, you get the fingers, man. June the 6th through August the 10th, they're filming 9 weeks and 2 days. Guess what? What happens on a campus during the summer, Jake? It's summer break. If you were going to go to a college campus and have free reign to film, you want to go in the summer break when it's less people, they're cleared out, limited staff, everything. Bro, okay, we're now I'm not done yet. We're across the street. We're now filming it in the summer break months, June 6th to August 10th. So you are literally loading in as everyone's gone, and you're back before everyone returns. But one last thing I want to mention about this that adds even more impact to this: the college itself is known for filming locations. It is a film-friendly college. They actually have a link on their website for making films. You can actually see what it costs to rent out the facilities to film there. I mean, we're talking about X-Men 2, X-Men Apocalypse, the Jack Ryan series is filmed there. Boomerang was filmed on location. Dude, this is a film-friendly college, Jake. They're filming on summer break, Jake. And, brother, they're across the street, Jake. That's 3 lines of evidence. What do you say, man?
Oh, dude,
Come on, man.
Listen, Okay, you called me, you blew my mind. I'm like, we gotta just do this live stream now. This is it. This is the great theory. It's something we have to talk about. So let me ask you this now, Steven. So this is just a theory, obviously, just a theory, but pretty strong evidence for a theory. Let me tell you that. I was so impressed by it. I was so impressed by it. We had to do this impromptu live stream. So let me ask you this: do you think we're going back to Windsor College, or do you think this is going to be a different college this time around? Like, how close is it going to follow Scream 2 if we are going to do the college setting? I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
All right, so here's my thoughts right now today, with all this information still percolating. I think that it will not be Windsor. I think it will be, wait for it, a college in New York City. Because we know. Yeah. Okay, who's living in New York City, Jake?
Gail Weathers.
Hello. So here's my thought, man. You got a college camp. I
can't stop doing it. Like I did it once, and now it's like I just can't stop blowing the fingers. Keep going. Sorry.
It's involuntary. I understand. Dude, so what about this? To make it a different, well, it's going to be similar. Again, giving nod to Scream 2. Maybe Tara, Mindy, Chad, they're all in college together. And, Sam is living up there in New York. So she's nearby, so she's still there. But the way you can make this different is Gail Weathers is in New York with her show. And downtown Montreal, big time skyscraper. You could totally have a New York feel, right?
Yeah,
big city feel. Yeah. So what if we're going to have them at college, and guess what? Some freak in a black robe and a ghost face mask pops up again, and now they go to Gail Weathers, who's right down the street in New York. So you don't have to make it like a reason why Gail would come to Woodsboro, or see, that's eliminated now because now we're on Gail's turf. Just so happens the college they're going to is in New York, and so now Gail steps right in to help. Now, how do we get Sydney? We could talk about that and think about that later. But for now, that's what I'm thinking, Jake. I'm thinking you combine the Gail stories with the college,
Because if that also, to go off of more things that are kind of just theories at the moment, we got that plot description from IMDb, which I'm sure you've seen, which is kind of the whole thing behind that, like just kind of to paraphrase, I don't know it from memory, but basically what it said was it's going to be a Gale-centric story. So if that were the case, this would make a lot of sense. And how would we bring all those other characters in there? Well, they're going to college. That's the next phase of their life. Yes. And I feel like also another thing to bring Sam in here, because she's basically our main character. She's like our new final girl, is she's super protective of Tara after the events of Scream 5. We saw, like, that was a big point in that last film about, like, oh, she wants to protect Tara. She has to now be a part of her life. She feels compelled to do that. And it's like we have that nice happy ending with Scream 5 that I feel like this movie is going to ruin in the best way possible.
Me too.
Yes. Yeah. No, dude, 100%. I'm totally down with this theory. I loved it. Like, I loved it so much. I had to just start this live stream. Say screw it. Like, I keep saying that, but like once again, super impromptu. We're having a blast though.
This is great. Yeah, I tell you what. I said I must be hitting something good for Jake to drop the mic and say we're going live. Forget about this. We're going to hang up the phone right now. We're not going to talk anymore on the phone. We're going live to the people because we got to let the truth be told. And anyway, now I tell you, what's up, Critical Overlord? What's up, my man?
So as I promised, I will say hi to some of the wonderful people in the chat right now. We have Save Robbie here. We have Critical Overlord. What is going on, everybody? We have Sonia Evans. We got Jordan Cansdell. Hello. What is up, everybody? How we doing? So yes, how do you guys feel about this crazy theory?
Maybe not so crazy. Maybe not so crazy, Jay.
It's really not. Honestly,
there's
I
some
feel like
evidence
there's
here.
To that.
Yeah.
Desiree's in the chat as well. What's up, Desiree? How's it going?
Desiree.
What's up? Heck yeah. Critical Overlord says I'll be giving huge credits tonight. This is nuts.
Thank you, Critical Overlord. Much appreciated, buddy.
I want to point out this is Craven. He did all the research here. The man is on fire. Just caught something with this Production Weekly post that completely went right over my head. The man's amazing. Had to have him on as my first guest here. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jake. Appreciate it.
Dude, that blew my mind. I was literally studying that thing because, dude, I read the cast line wrong too. Like, you know how like it says like cast Courtney Cox and there's like two other names? I missed the CD thing there. And I thought the next two people were like cast members. I'm like, oh my God, there's new cast members. Oh, let's talk about this. No, that's not at all what those people are credited for.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something funny, bro? I did the same thing. When I first saw it, I was like, I saw the first name. I went to Google. I said, "Oh, do we have an actor?" And I typed her name in. It says casting director. I'm like, "Oh,
Yep.
CD. Never
Yep.
mind. Forget
Did
it."
not right over the old head there. Yeah, I had no idea. I'm Steven, I'm sweating right now. I'm so excited about all this news.
I love it, man.
So listen, I did not have time to. I put out a tweet the other day talking about Scream 5, and I had just gotten the 4K Steelbook for it. I just got a chance to watch it, and I've been waiting to do the behind the scenes and all that because I knew that was going to be really good. And dude, I was in tears watching their little thing about Wes Craven, and I was just like, oh, this is so exciting. This is awesome. So you just caught me on like this high from watching all the behind the scenes of that, and then you hit me with this theory. I'm just like, my heart's gonna explode, my head's gonna just burst, my brain's gonna burst out of my skull. It's amazing. So sorry if I'm like talking really fast and you can see the perspiration going down my forehead, but
bro, I love
amazing.
it, man.
This is great.
I absolutely love it, man. And like we were talking on the phone. I was like, my head's gonna. I gotta talk to you, man. It's like I can't text you. This is just too much. This is too much to not talk about, man. And then I love the moment when we both realized, you know what? Let's just shut this thing down and get on a live stream.
Right, that's what I was. I'm like,
this
this conversation's great. We might as well just get on the live stream. But
I love
just
it.
keep it on topic. And
yeah.
I'll take a deep breath because I need to calm down.
Deep breath,
but,
my man. You're good. You're good.
I will say, I was not expecting this movie to follow Scream 2 to such a format. Like you actually brought this up a moment ago, saying that Radio Silence wants to risk it all with this new film. They want to change it up. They want to make it different. They might even deviate maybe a little too far than I would say. So, what do you think about that though? Do you like how for certain are you that we're going to a college setting? How for certain are you that we're going to follow a similar structure to Scream 2 as well? How do you feel about that? Is it going to also follow that structure to a T, or do you think it's going to be different?
I think it's going to be right now very similar. I really do, and because of this information now, and if it's right, if it's correct that this theory is right, and these lines of evidence prove to be true, then it almost seems to me like they are really going to follow the Wes Craven blueprint for this trilogy. It's really looking that way. I think that they are going to obviously have some differences, and I think the Gail part will make it different because we're going to, in Scream 2, it was really all on the campus. It was all about what was going on the campus. Once we got out of the movie theater, right, at the opening, we were pretty much on campus. So I think what will make this different is they can take the kind of the elements of 2, perhaps pay homage to it, is what I think they're going to do. But if you introduce in this whole Ghostface with Gail off campus, because we don't have to keep it on campus. We could have attacks in the city. We could have attacks. Heck, man, Sam could be living out in the country a little bit. We could have attacks out there, so that's another setting. You could have attacks off campus. So those would be some ways to deviate. But the thing I keep going back to, Jake, is Tyler's direct quote. I've burned it in my mind. You just mentioned it again, where he says, "We are willing to risk everything to subvert fan expectations." And then he says, "We're so far down the rabbit hole in the Scream movies," which means all the previous films, that everything, and I'm going to say it again, everything is up for grabs, man. So those are bold statements.
Yeah,
But here's the thing, Jake, and I'll ask you this. If they made these statements, but if they follow the Scream 2 model, how is that really delivering? That's the thing. That
is exactly where I was getting at, because I'm critical overlord. I want to get to your comment here in a second, because this is really interesting as well. But that's so interesting. Like if they take this route, because there's that's a lot of evidence that would suggest that we're going to a college setting this time around, which is great, which is really interesting, really different. But well, not different. I guess my point is it's not different. It follows the same thing as Scream 2. But it seems like everything we've heard so far about Scream 6, we know very little about it. We basically kind of know the plot description, but also that's not confirmed. It's supposed to be how it seems like is it's going to be one of those films that's much different from everything we've seen from the past. But if we follow the same format and we go to college again, isn't it just going to fall into the same situation that Scream 2 is? I don't know. I kind of I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe it's
Yes.
going to be one of those things where we deviate so much with like the plot structure, but have a similar setting to Scream 2 that we meet somewhere in the middle, where it's like it's not quite too different, but it's also like a similar remote feeling. Like it's nothing that's like too far out, but it's like okay, like I feel this. It feels like a Scream movie. It's not too different, but
Yeah.
Critical Overlord just put something really interesting here, saying, "Guys, this isn't that big, but I got told they haven't cast anyone yet. Strict NDAs wouldn't allow anything else to be told," which is really interesting. So,
dude, they're running out of time. They're filming in less than 2 months, man.
yeah,
Than 2
no,
months.
that's crazy. I mean, like they have to have a script at this point, but if they don't even have anybody cast yet, that's wild. I mean, dude, they don't have that much time. Less than 2 months. Less than 2
Jake,
months. Crazy.
I'll throw a loop for you. The script is written, and so based on what Critical Overlord just said, the script is written. They have a storyline.
Yeah.
I'm sure it involves Tara, Sam, Chad, and Mindy, the whole thing. What if all of a sudden Tara's agent says, "You know what? You're worth more than they're willing to pay you, and you shouldn't do this movie." And Tara holds out and says, "I'm not coming back." And they've already written her part in the movie. Now you're going into Scream 3 mode where Wes Craven and Aaron Kruger are locked up in a room writing the movie every day. That could mess this up with this aggressive timeline. I mean, they're rolling the dice, dude.
Yeah, no, they really are. And this is starting to get into like really scary territory because like I'm seeing similar things that happened back in 1997. Like very similar aspects where it's like we're going to fall into the same pitfalls that Scream 2 fell into and then Scream 3 fell even harder into. And I really hope that's not the case. Like I genuinely think that if they take their time on this movie, they put the time and effort into the creative development and all that process, I really think this movie could be better than Scream 5. I'm rewatching, like I literally... If you guys are coming into the stream just now, Zoe Crawford, what's going on? Tori, how's it going?
Hey, guys.
DC Mill, just saying hi to everybody. What's up?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up? There we go. You guys all get to go on the screen. There we go. Look, everyone's on the screen now. There we go. Okay, fantastic. I'm watching Scream 5, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is so fun. I love all the shocks and all the twists. But I do, like, even in the behind the scenes, they said, like, when we didn't know what to do with something, we were like, let's just copy Wes Craven. Let's try to do exactly what would Wes do. And to a degree, I feel like they killed it with a lot of aspects in this film. But there are some points where I'm like, I kind of wish they would have went their own direction with it. Yeah. And now that they've resurrected the franchise, they brought it back to life. It made $140+ million at the box office. Let's go.
It did great.
I really think that now they take their own direction. And what I'm worried about is maybe they're going to rest on their laurels a little bit. They're going to be like, well, you know what? It worked for us in Scream 5. Let's just do that exactly again. And I really, really hope that's not the case because now they kind of have a lot of creative freedom. They've impressed a lot of people. I see Sonia in the chat saying she does not believe in radio silence. And that's totally fine. I mean, we all feel differently about every movie. Their films are subjective. But I really think now that they've had a successful film, they've resurrected this movie, now you got to lean into that a little more because I don't know about you, Steven, but my favorite part of the latest Scream film was all the deviations, the changes. Those were the biggest shocks and surprises and the most fun moments of the film for me. So I really hope they lean into that. They tell their story. They tell their Scream story that they want to do and not just try to copy Wes Craven to a T, if that makes sense. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think I want to see that. Like I've always said this. I want to see them really, because I felt like 5 was the burden of Wes. I mean, I can only imagine the weight on their shoulders. They even said they were under intense pressure from the first day because they knew the legacy they were picking up from and taking off with. But now I feel like that they've done that. Like they honored Wes in a great. I thought they honored Wes well. They did what they had to do, and now is the time where you really kind of let them get into their own, right? Let them come out of their shell. Let it be a radio silence Scream, not like kind of a blended model like we saw in 5. I have to say, though, what makes me nervous about this, and again, I'm not saying it won't work. I'm not being a Debbie Downer, but I'm just being honest. I am nervous about the college setting because how much can you deviate when you're boxing yourself into comparisons to the second one? Because now what we're going to say is, well, Scream 2, Wes Craven's was at a college, and then this was, now we're going to be comparing college settings, and did it work? And did it? But if you do something totally new, there's nothing to compare it to. It's
Yes.
different. But the more you go back to the same, the more you're opening yourself up to not only the comparisons, but the pressure of trying to deliver to that level. And that is, Wes Craven is not easy. That's not,
No.
that's not a guy you can just punk over and try to outdo him. You don't, that's dangerous, man.
I would not want to be tasked with that, because that's just like,
either.
I mean, he's considered one of the greatest horror directors of all time.
Yep.
I would not try to challenge the guy. I would try to do your own thing. That's the best case scenario for these guys. They're also younger filmmakers than where Wes was. I mean, Wes was 25 years plus into his career, maybe 30. I'm just trying to think when his first movie was.
His first movie was 72, so it would have been 25, 26 years, whatever that is. Yeah.
There you go. And these guys are a little over 10.
I was going to say, they're barely 26 years old. They're barely, honestly.
I mean, they've been making movies for like 10, 11, 12 years. I mean, it's just, they're younger filmmakers. I feel like just try to do your own thing. That's going to ultimately lead to the better product, I think, for sure. And it might I think what they're really worried about is they're worried that they're not going to make a Scream film. They're worried they're just going to pump out a slasher flick. But I think like these guys are fanboys. They know what they're doing. Just be confident. Just go for it. That's what I say with the new Scream team. I really think that they can pump out something great just by going at it in their own original direction. Personally,
it almost seems like that's the only way anyone, no matter what your job is, your work or your field, the only way to reach your full potential is to pour yourself into being you, just being your own way, your style, your thing. And especially when it comes to creative stuff like music or movies, you have to just go all in on you. But you brought something up earlier that I didn't touch on, and I'm just remembering it now, that I thought was interesting, was the statement of, we did it this way. We kind of fell back on Wes Craven when we didn't know really what to do with the scene, and look what happened. We made 140, 50 million, whatever it was now. And you mentioned how, are we stupid? I'm saying, like, hypothetically, are we dumb to deviate from something that we made 150 mil on and got us a sequel?
Right.
What, do we really want to do that? Maybe the fans want. Maybe they want us to keep in that same Craven lane, and I'm telling you, I don't know the answer, because they are young, Jake. This was their second really big film that they've ever done. After Ready or Not was their first big one, right? And then this is they have 2 films under their belt. That's it. And so, I mean, major films.
Yeah.
So budget films, you know what I'm talking about. So I'll tell you this: if Guy and James had written this on a college campus, and I'm radio silence, I'm like, bro, I carry the weight of Stu's House. I carry the weight of Woodsboro in the last one, and that was hard. Please don't write me into this again, where I've got to carry the weight of this another Wes Craven setting. Just a thought.
Yeah, because to me, it's like if they set it in Windsor College, and if you're just joining the chat, by the way, I see we have a bunch of wonderful and amazing viewers here. Thank you to everyone who's here. Appreciate it so much. I want to say something I'm worried about. For the new people, sorry. If you're just joining us, we have kind of just cracked down on a crazy theory that Steven has just brought up. It's not even too crazy either, as he was saying. It makes a lot of sense that we might be getting a college setting this time around, because across the street from the production office, is a really big college that is known for a lot of films were filmed there. So we're thinking that it's probably going to have a college setting. If you're just joining us, I just want to keep you updated.
Good idea, because a lot of them probably are like, what are we talking about? They haven't heard the theory.
Right. I feel like if we're making another movie at Windsor College, we have a character who's in some kind of play or something. That's where the third act takes place. I'm just going to be like, it's just, to me, it's like, I've seen this movie already.
Exactly.
And we talked about this on our Lethal Collective stream. The more we watch Scream 5, the more we realize that third act in the kitchen, it's just like, it's like you can't do Stu's Kitchen better than Billy and Stu. You can't. No. And I love Richie and Amber. Honestly, I really liked them as killers. They were crazy and creative, and they had a different motive that wasn't exactly the same as the last couple movies. I thought that was cool. Cool, whatever, that's awesome. But the whole kitchen scene does not work for me, honestly. In retrospect, now that I've seen it a couple more times, I'm like, this is just, they're trying to be Billy and Stu. They're not Billy and Stu. They're their own entities. And if they embrace that, moving forward with the franchise, they're going to make better movies. They really are. And Chris Collins here has a really good idea for something, just a theory to throw out there, and I want to see how you feel about this, Steven. The college setting could just be for the opening scene for Scream 6, where somebody dies and not the setting for the whole movie. How do you feel about that, though?
I listen. I'm all for that. I mean, I would much prefer that than them, Tara and Mindy and everyone being in school, and we have a Scream 2.0, and I just don't. It's the hard part right now is we just got this information, and it just seems so logical, and they're there for 9 weeks. That's considerable amount of time. That's 9 weeks and 2 days to shoot. And if you do the college scene for just the opening, where do you go from there? I'm just thinking to myself, if they're all in college and you just do an opening scene, then what happens? Do they just all drop out? Do they all just leave? Maybe. It almost seems to me like you have to commit. If you're gonna say we're in college, you're in college. You're just gonna. That's what you're doing.
Now, that's a good point, but let me point this out to you too as well. For Scream 5, a lot of those locations where we were in Modesto at one point, we're in Chicago, all of those scenes filmed in one town, Wilmington,
Sure.
North Carolina.
Absolutely.
I went to where, when Sydney Prescott's pushing the stroller and she gets the call from Dewey, that was filmed down the street where they filmed most of the other Woodsboro shots. It was. When I did the filming locations, I was like, oh wow, this is all right next to each other. The whole movie must take place in Woodsboro. It doesn't. And the bowling alley too is just down the street from where they filmed all the driving shots with Judy Hicks. It's right there. It's all right next to each other.
All right there. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, based off of that, if they filmed the whole movie in Montreal, do you think that we do an opening, theoretically, we do an opening scene at this college campus right before the end of the semester with one of our main characters who survived from the Scream 5 dying, and then it gets everyone during their summer break to freak out and be like, "Oh my God, there's a killer on the loose coming after us. We have to do something." You know what I mean? What do you think about that?
Okay, now that has more potential to me. That actually makes sense if you do it at the end, like you're just about to go to summer break, and Ghostface shows up and Chad is murdered on the campus grounds, and he's gone right there.
I love how we're immediately in agreement about how Chad's probably going to be the opening kill.
Poor Chad.
Yeah, I know. Poor Chad, man. He's such a good character, but it's if someone's going to go, it's probably Chad, which is
Chad.
Oh, it's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yes,
hey, look, he was supposed to die in 5, so he got a reprieve. At least he's going to get another paycheck. He'll get one more shot, and then that's going to be it. But yeah, he dies. Now that's interesting because everyone then would leave the campus, obviously, go back to Woodsboro, maybe since Sam is theoretically, if we're going to do if we're doing the New York idea, which I think makes sense because Gail being in New York, then we know that Sam's living in New York at this point because Sam told Tara, remember at the hospital with the ambulance, "I'll never leave you again. I'll never leave you again."
Yes.
So I could picture summer semester ending. They leave campus. They're like, well, "I'm not staying on campus." Where do we go? We go to my sister's. So they all go pile in and living with Sam in Sam's place, and then chaos ensues. But they still stay in New York, right? Or you could make this argument, well, why would they stay in New York if there's killing? They would just go back to Woodsboro. But do you really want to go back to Woodsboro when there's Ghostface running around? I mean, is that the best place to go? I don't think so, man.
No.
I don't think so. I think they call Gail, and Gail shows up and says, we're going to hunt this guy down. He's on my turf now. He's not in Woodsboro anymore, baby. He's in New York. This is my city. So I'm going to get all my contacts in the police department. I'm going to get everybody involved in this. I mean, especially if they're going with the Gail-centric idea, which is the running theory on right now as a possibility.
Yeah. Right.
So, right. I guess that's what I like to say. I could see that as an acceptable way for me to do the college scene, but not do the college scene. Just do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Because as long as it's not we can do a college setting as long as we're not following every plot beat of Scream 2. That's my thing. I'm fine if you honestly. and maybe you don't agree with this necessarily, but
Okay.
like I'm fine with going back to Windsor College as long as we don't follow every single beat of of Scream 2, because then I'm just like, this is just the same movie. Even if it's at a different college and you just follow every single plot beat of Scream 2, it's just going to be the same movie but at a different college with new characters, with modern characters. And that's
right.
how is that different from like a Scream 2 remake, really? It's not. It's really not.
No.
It's my argument. Zoe Crawford, thank you so much for the super chat, my dude. I appreciate that. Zoe has an amazing channel, by the way. He gave me a super chat. I got to give him a shout out real quick.
Of course, yeah.
Zoe Crawford has an awesome channel where he also does updates on a variety of different movies. If you do not subscribe to him, you're missing out. What are you doing? As fate decided would say.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? There you go. Go subscribe to him. And real quickly, Steven, while we have all these people in the chat, and just to give a little ad break here, I guess is what we're calling this. We're at the halfway mark, so screw it. Craven Something Scary has an amazing live stream coming up that I'm sure he would love to tell you about.
I would. Thank you, Jake. What a nice setup. So everyone in the live chat tonight at 9 o'clock Central, 10 Eastern, I'm going to be interviewing Lee Ann Kerr, who is the director and writer of the slasher film Student Body. Not Student Bodies from the 80s, Student Body. It just came out in February. Totally different movie. And it's a slasher movie. It's based in a high school setting. Kids get locked into the school and they can't get out. And the mascot's walking around with a sledgehammer. So that's your premise of the movie. Yep, that's the premise.
Sold. I'm sold already. I gotta watch this now.
You gotta watch it, man. You gotta watch it. So for anyone that wants to come, I would appreciate your support. And let's give her a lot of love tonight on the live stream. She'll be there for 1 hour. I got her for a whole hour to interview her and pick her brain about the process of writing and directing. And it's going to be a real good time tonight. So come on over to the channel. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Jake.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. I thought, hey, look, we got a bunch of people in here. We got to tell them about this awesome live stream. That's crazy. I wish I was interviewing a big time horror movie director. That's awesome. I will not miss that stream, Steven.
Awesome.
That's going to be amazing. We have a really good comment here from Zoe Crawford to get back on topic with Scream.
Yes,
Says, I miss the huge California landscape shots we got in the original. I'm from Northern California, so it makes me nostalgic. And I feel that. I feel like the Wilmington setting was really cool. I feel like there was a lot of it's a gorgeous town. Like I said, I went there myself. It's a gorgeous place. It's really cool. It's badass. And I will say though, what that movie lacked that the original one has is those, like, just that shot. Remember that shot of Sydney? She's walking around on her porch in the backyard and you're just seeing those like rolling hills in the background. It's gorgeous.
Man. It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. We need some more wide shots. We need some more wide shots and we need some more chase scenes. And then we'll have a badass Scream film on our hands. How do you feel about that, Steven?
100%. I mean, that whole cinematography, cinematography was always good in his movies, but that shot, man, all those scenes were just gorgeous, man. They're just so wide and just, you can just breathe it in, and we missed that. We don't, and Scream 5, that's one of the things about Scream 5, and we've chatted about it, but man, it's so tightly shot. It is just so tightly shot, man. Like, the frames are so like this. So I would love for them to say, you know what, boys, we're gonna open it up. We're gonna let the lenses breathe in this one, let us get in a little bit of some width here and enjoy the scenery a little bit. And what a place to do it in Montreal. That place is. The pictures of it, I've never been there, but the pictures online are gorgeous, man.
It's like free, interesting shot. You know what I mean? It's just like you can film I've seen a few pictures of Montreal at this point. It's a gorgeous city. Just get some wide shots of that and throw that in there at some point. I mean, it's like, if you want to keep us interested, that's a really easy way to do it.
It is.
Austin, thank you so much for the super chat, man. We're going to answer your question here. What's good, Jake and Craven? We're fantastic. Who is Rory? So have you read about Rory, Steven?
I haven't read about. I've heard about in the grapevine, but I've not actually read anything about it.
So there's a rumor going around that apparently there are 3 characters already confirmed to be part of the cast that they're still casting for.
Okay.
2 of them are characters we're already familiar with: Christina Carpenter, Leslie Mocker. We kind of figured that we'd probably get those characters in this new one, but then there's also one that's listed as Rory. Like I said, just a rumor, nothing confirmed at this time. Just like all the college talk we're talking about right now, just a rumor, but heavily implied. With this Rory character, do you think Do you think who is this Rory? Like just based off of the name alone, do you have anything? Because we also have Critical Overlord here talking about
He beat
Rory
me
might
to
be
it.
based on Rory Culkin. I know he beat me to it too. I was literally just gonna
Dude.
say that.
Darn you, Critical Overlord. I was about to say that.
Not the first time we've had a character named after a real life person involved with the
Yep.
Scream films. How do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, I think it's a total callback. Absolutely, no, total callback. And and this is, I'm about to shift gears here, but it matches up. So, Chad Meeks Martin, Mindy Meeks Martin, who's the father? Well, I'm still rooting for Joel. I did a whole video yesterday breaking down the ages, showing you how it could work with the time gaps and stuff. But what I love about it is, and I believe it's intentional, Jake. I don't think I've ever asked you this question, but I think probably where I'm going with this. The last name Martin is the real last name of Dwayne Martin, who played Joel, and it's so meta. It is so freaking meta to me, man. And I'm like, I think Radio Silence is already airmailing it in, dude. They're telling us it's Martin if you just connect the dots, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's the same with Rory. Now, I'm not saying that Rory is, obviously the actual Culkin. He's dead, but I think it's a callback, yes. 100% callback, just like I believe Martin is a callback to 2 with Joel. I think this is a callback to 4. Now, who is Rory? Dude, who knows, man? It's so wide open. It could be a classmate in college. It could be a relative of anybody. I mean, at this point, I don't know, man. I know that I've heard, like, I think. Go ahead.
It's just a name, so it's like
It's
we
just a
don't
name.
have a lot to go. It's exciting
No.
though, nonetheless. I will say this though. I will say this once again. I'm literally fresh off of watching all the behind the scenes from Scream 5, so I'm like, oh, I got this all in my brain. Something they talked about was they specific, like obviously they named Wes Hicks after Wes Craven, and they said this was a way of honoring Wes Craven. We wanted to have a character named Wes, we wanted to kill him, and then we wanted to have a party scene where we're honoring him, and it's almost like it's a super meta way to honor the real life director. That's awesome.
Real life guy, yes.
So now let me ask you this. Is the character Rory somehow an allusion to Rory Culkin's character, and are we going to have another Ghostface killer here? Do we maybe already have some sus on this character that may or may not be in Scream 6? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Could he be a killer? Could it be a callback to that?
I see what you're saying. So are they kind of airmailing that Rory may be the actual Ghostface killer by naming him the real life? I got you. Dude, I mean, the only thing I don't like about that is if they did that is we figured that one out too easy. That's
a bit too obvious, right?
It's a bit too obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, now, of course, this is not the same marketing team that would put burning people in trailers and anything like that. So, being a little sarcastic, but just a little bit. But I think it would be nothing more than just an homage to Scream 4. And honestly, I think I'd be the opposite. I think that's the one person I could bet on not to be the Ghostface killer would be Rory.
So like massive red herring if they do
massive red herring. I think so.
I agree. No, I totally agree because I feel like we figured out a lot about the last film before it even came out.
We did.
They know Scream fans are eagle-eyed, will catch a lot of things like this. I feel like they're not going to make it so streamlined as to
Yep.
I'll be honest, I didn't figure out who the killers were going into this. I think there was a point in the movie and in the third act where I'm kind of like, yeah, it's probably Richie. Like Richie was one I kind of got, but Amber, that reveal, still one of my favorite reveals of the entire Scream franchise. I mean, I don't know, that blew my mind. I loved that, but there's a lot of other things we kind of figured out, like Dewey. What happened to poor old Dewey. So I feel like they're not gonna, right? Like that. God, so sad. But I feel like it's not gonna be that obvious this time around for anything, for any of the reveals, any of the shocks.
Yeah, man. I want to be fooled, because as content creators, not only fans and content creators both, we're gonna do our thing. We're gonna break down trailers. We're gonna slow it down, and we're gonna frame it by frame. I just really hope, man. And of course, I know. Look, I'm the first to say, if you do a trailer if you slow a trailer down 50 and you watch it for 100 times or more, and you go frame by frame and you figure it out, it's your own fault, okay? Because I'm not one of those guys that are like, well, you shouldn't be doing that. No, I admit it. I fully take responsibility, but I also want to hold them to a standard to say, you have 2 hours, Jake, of footage. You have 2 hours you filmed. You're making a 2-minute trailer, 2.5 minutes. you don't have to put these scenes. Of all the scenes you could put in a trailer, I'm just saying, man, I hope the trailers are going to be very vanilla. Don't put in a burning amber character like that again. Don't put Sam coming down and leaving Richie's hairline and shoulder in the shot. I mean, it's not that hard. I can edit that and carve that out in software myself. I know they can do it. And so, I'm not trying to be like down or anything. I'm just being truthful because your point is valid. Like, I want to be surprised in 6. Like, I want to be surprised where I don't see it coming. There's a twist coming, I just don't see it, or I think I see something. And I mean, a fake out death. I know it's been done a lot. I know in the franchise, I still believe Angelina was a very good chance she was a fake out death in 3 as Roman's accomplice, the second killer in 3. So if you think about it, we had Roman. I'm going to say Angelina for 50-50. You have Billy with the fake out. We've got some fake outs. So I'm not opposed to it though, because there's something about seeing someone that you suspect and they're killed. Of course, your check engine lights go off too. Are they really dead? Because now we've seen it. But I want some shocking thing here. I want a twist that's going to blow our friggin' mind. You already know if you listen closely, you hear it coming. You hear the chug, chug, chug. You hear that train. Jake, I'm not gonna. Jake, you thought I would go this long without going there.
I'm shocked we made it 40 minutes without his name being mentioned. This is crazy.
I'm just saying, man. That Steven. Train. I'm not gonna go there in the hospital. I'm not gonna take over the stream, but.
No,
you know what I'm thinking.
This is my bad. So I have come unprepared to a stream with Craven Something Scary, and you know what I don't have? I don't have any stew pictures ready to go on the blink of an eye. I have truly disappointed you, and I am so sorry, my friend.
Wah, 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 wah. I wish I had the sound effect. Dude,
right,
bro.
I wish I had pictures of stew. I wish, man.
Just one little shot up right now. It's all we needed. It's all we needed.
I would do it if I had it ready. I'm so sorry.
It's all good, man. I love it, man. It's all good. Aiden's representing. There you go, Stu. Got the Stu train going. There we go. Already got it rolling. Oh, there comes Austin. Let's go, Cravenites. Let's get that Stu train up. That would, man. Let me tell you what. If it happens, Jake. If it happens, and like I say, I won't derail you. No pun intended. But if that were to happen, for example. That would be a colossal, amazing, epic, beyond proportion moment. It would be insane. I would absolutely love it.
I'll be honest, and I've been kind of preaching on here. I'm like, maybe they don't bring back characters. If they do it, I have to admit it's going to be pretty awesome. I mean, my mind's going to be blown. Maverick Media, thank you so much.
What's up, Maverick?
I appreciate it, Maverick. If Scream 6 follows Scream 2 beat for beat, like Scream 5 was in relation to 96, they will have officially blown their shot, and I'll be mad for a number 7. Says Maverick. How do you feel about that, Steven? Do you think if Scream 6 is way too close to Scream 6 is too close to Scream 2? Do you think it's going to kind of ruin it for you? Are you not going to be pumped if they announce a 7?
I mean, I will. I think I'll still be pumped because I always believe in redemption, and that you can learn and you can improve and get better. So, I would still be pumped, but I would say this: if we get a lot of shots. Yeah. If we get a lot of shots. No, you're good, man. Stu. That's right.
I'm just going to keep putting it up. There we go.
Keep putting them up. I'll keep talking. I'll ignore them. That's all right. Keep it going. If they copy Scream 2 like really closely, like we saw in 5 with the Tatum scene and all these other these parallels, I don't mind homage. I love homage. I mean, especially when you're talking about a Wes Craven movie. But if Guy and James have written this to be literally like 2.0, where there's mild modifications, but we're still really kind of following that same line. And I swear, if there's an older female reporter and she turns out to be Leslie Mocker, if she turns out to be Leslie Mocker or Christina Carpenter or something, dude, no, it wouldn't be Christina. They'd know that. But you know what I'm saying? If it's something like, if it's Leslie Mocker, so I'm going to tell you, I will literally, I don't know if I'll walk out of the theater. I would watch it, but I would be so just completely out of it.
It's so cheap, right? It's just we know it's coming at that point.
It's plagiarism. It's plagiarism.
Yes. There's a big difference between homage and plagiarism. I think that is the biggest thing here that I don't think anyone really wants to see. I don't want to see a remake of Scream 2. I want to see a new movie.
I'll go watch Wes Craven's Scream 2. I've got that.
Right. I got that on my shelf. Why am I going to pay $15 to go to the theater to see that? Like, there's no point. No. I don't want to see a modernization of the second film. I really want to see something fresh and new.
Yes.
I mean, Tyler and Matt have even said they're like, there are more stories to tell in Woodsboro or in this universe. I really think that they can tell something really crazy and really interesting, especially if we do a Gale-centered story. Now, I will say another thing that concerns me with that, about doing a Gale-centered story. There's always, unfortunately, there's a silver lining to things, and then there's a poopy lining to things.
Always.
What we could do here is, if you think about it, Billy's mom, kind of the whole movie, the only time we really see her is when she's interacting with Gail. So if we do have a killer this time around, it could be similar to Billy's mother because this is such a Gail-centric story. And that worries me. It's something I've had in the back of my head. I was actually thinking about doing a whole video on. I'm really worried about this film being too close to 2. We need something original. We need something different. I think Scream 5 was really close to that. Really super close, but unfortunately did follow a lot of the plot beats of the 96 film. So what else? Is there anything else you'd like to see from Scream 6 besides getting on the stew train?
Yep. I put it in park for now. I'll put it in park.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to see from this new film that could make it different from Scream 2? That could make it the best sequel it could possibly be?
Man, I'll give you some. You know, stew aside, we already know that. I'll put that aside. In addition to that, though, more than 2 killers, please. Give us more than 2 killers. I'm a big fan of the whole cult idea that was, originally going to be done. It was Scream 3, as we know, and Wes had to shelve it. But Matthew Lillard aside, I still think he's the one that should run it. But either way, I want multiple Ghostface killers, man. If they're not going to do the whole cult, we have multiples, at least 3. Give me 2 in a mastermind. That's all I asked for from 5. Remember, I was like, give me 2 in a mastermind, and I'll be really happy. That's why when 5 ended in the kitchen or in the house, I kept waiting. Like, okay, it's not really over. It's not really over. I don't believe it. There's going to be someone that's going to call, or which actually they may have called in that kitchen scene. But that's a whole other thing we could talk about as a theory, because their phone rang and it was never picked up, and Tara had her crutches. She's not on the phone. So anyway, I'm just saying, you somebody called.
There's places they can expand on what we already know about Scream 5, and that's one of them for sure.
That is one.
I'll take that because it's different. Like, I'm in need of something different from this franchise so bad, because I'm real, like I said earlier, what I love so much about Scream 5 is those tiny deviations. They killed a legacy character, and arguably 2 legacy characters with Judy Hicks. I mean,
that's true, man. Yeah,
I don't think it's nowhere near as upsetting as Dewey dying, but to me, I think what's so important about that, and Maverick, I'm getting you to your comment soon because this is hilarious. My thing about that, why I felt like it was so important from this last film to kill a legacy character, is now Scream is scary again. We really don't know what they're going to do with Gail and Sidney this time around.
No.
They could die. It's scary. It's scary. I don't think it'll happen, but it's a scary thing to talk about.
It is, man. And I think Sidney, she seems pretty adamant that she will not return to be killed on screen. So I don't, because it would betray everything that is Sidney Prescott stands for. As it would almost, if she gets killed, man, it will taint. And again, this kind of goes back to our Halloween discussion. It won't make those other movies not good, but it will just taint them a little for me, because after all of her surviving and fighting and overcoming, just to end up getting killed by Ghostface, it would be. I think it would I don't think it would not be a smart move for Radio Silence. I think it would be a bad move. Now, there's some fans that wouldn't care. Some people, I've seen people that say, I wish he just killed Sidney and open and kill. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I mean, to each his own, but no. That would be horrible, and it would ruin the movie for me, man. I couldn't. Now, Gail, I think she's definitely, I think she could be killed. I think she's. I'm not saying she's going to be, but she could be, bro. You realize
it's scary to think about, man. I mean, you got a point though. Like I'm worried that we're gonna follow like a trilogy format where it's like legacy. You have three legacy characters. One of them died in the first one. Next one, someone else dies. What happens in the third one?
What happens to the third one? Does Sydney survive the third one? And of course, I mean, I could totally see that. I hope it's not though. But it depends how much fun I think Gail's or Courtney's having, because in Scream 4 she wanted to be killed off, and Wes told her no, we're doing a trilogy, so hang out, I'll kill you later and whatever. And of course she gave in because she loves Wes, so she said that's fine. But Wes is gone now, but she seems to be enjoying Scream 5. She seemed to have enjoyed Scream 5 rather, and so I think as long as I'm almost tempted to say, man, that as long as she wants to come back, they'll probably let her come back. I guess you could have tried to say that with Dewey, but that wasn't true. But I don't know. I still think Gail is a 50-50 odds for every movie she's in. I really do.
I agree. And I see, to me, why killing Dewey was so important in Maverick. I still haven't gotten your comment, man. I'm so sorry.
But it's up there. We haven't forgot you.
Look, it's right there, man. I just real quickly wanted to say that I'm gonna go. Craven, I know you got to go because it's like 6 o'clock, but
you're good. No, we're good.
That's why I'm rushing through all these questions, because I'm just
Don't rush.
I want to get all this out there. This is great stuff. It's all up here, and I want to get it out there. But
no, you're fine. I actually have a little bit more time. I have a little bit more time.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
So you're good.
I can stop sweating like how I am. Perfect.
Please, yes. Take a deep breath. You're good.
I do have some merch coming soon, by the way. I've been working on it all week. That is really hilarious that you put that, though. I probably won't. I don't know if I'll put that on a shirt or not. I don't know if I'd want to be the guy who's selling a poopy shirt, but yeah, that's hilarious, Maverick. Thank you. But yeah, did want to throw that out there. But a reason why I feel like Dewey was so important to murder is I feel like the guy he's a hero, right? I mean, the guy is kind of a hero. He was always going to die, have a heroic death. He was always going to die saving someone, I feel like. It fits his character. It works really well.
Yeah.
I think it's written very well. But the other thing it does, which I would argue is maybe even more important, is now we are in this suspense. We really don't know if Gail Weathers or Sidney Prescott is going to die in the next film. Yes, we did have those comments from Nev Campbell saying, like, I won't come back if Sidney dies. But who knows if that comes back? Who knows if that doesn't come back? If there's a big enough paycheck, maybe she comes back. You know what I mean? Like that worries me. And
I know.
I think a part of this, though, I'm optimistically looking at this because I don't want Gail or Sidney to die, but I do really like living in the suspense of not knowing if they're going to live or die. Because if Dewey would have lived through that last film, this wouldn't even be a conversation. We would not even be talking about this. We'd be like, well, yeah, of course, Dewey, Gail, and Sidney are going to live, but they just went and did it. They went and killed one of the unkillable legacy characters. We don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, this is the most exciting time ever, maybe, to be a Scream fan. Just because of all this, Scream has been revitalized with some death, which is really upsetting and sad to say. I don't want to lose Dewey. I love the guy so much, but I feel like it was necessary to keep this franchise alive and keep it going.
Yeah. So I'll ask you a question about Dewey. So, retrospect, right? Looking back, we both agree that the trailer, and mostly the trailer, but even the marketing with the whole Airbnb, they really put him out front as the face of Scream 5 for marketing. Let me ask you this. How do you feel? Are you glad they did that? Or do you wish, how would you have felt in the theater without having that sense that was going to happen, where you're going and expecting to be like all the others, where he's always going to live, and it hits you blindsided? Whereas you and I both expected him to die. We said that he's going to die in the hospital. I fully knew it. It still impacted me in a great way in the theater, and still does when I watch it after my 7th or 8th time. But my question, Jake, looking back on it, what do you like the way it went, or would you have preferred having a sledgehammer hit you cold across the face?
That's a really great point. Here's how I feel about it. I think that I really went in, like, we talked about it, we had talked about it on streams about oh, dude, they're putting Dewey right at the forefront of this marketing. This is kind of reminiscent of 1996 when Drew Barrymore was the front of the marketing. And, this was something we tossed around. I really just didn't think they would do it. I went into that movie thinking this is a movie made by fanboys. It's going to be super close to the original, and it's going to be really like, it's going to be fun. You know, I kind of wasn't expecting much from it. I'm going to be totally honest. I didn't think it was going to be bad, but I just thought it was going to be very close to the original and just a good time. You know, it was just going to be a good film. It exceeded my expectations because of that, because I really thought this was going to be a Star Wars 7 incident once again, and I was preaching the entire time this movie was coming out. I'm like, please do something different. Please just don't repeat the same plot lines of the past, just to do something that feels the same and feels familiar, so you don't feel like you're doing something wrong. Because that's how I feel about the new Star Wars trilogy, honestly. It just feels way too close to the original, and they tried to listen to the fans to course correct, and they overcorrected, I think. With the new Scream movie, I think they really did it as right as they possibly could. And with this character now gone, it's... Yeah, it was shocking. I guess what I'm trying to get at is it was still shocking to me because I really just was not expecting them to go there. I really didn't think they would actually kill a legacy character. I convinced myself there's no way these fanboys are going to kill these beloved characters. And they did it. And I had a few people in the chat saying that I might have spoiled that for them. Guys, the movie came out in January. That Dewey's dead. The movie has been out.
Oh my gosh.
The movie has been out for a very long time. Like, if I spoil the ending of what's the Bruce Willis movie where he talks to ghosts? What is that called?
Sixth Sense.
Thank you, Sixth Sense. If I spoiled that Bruce Willis is a ghost in that movie, is someone gonna get mad at me for that? I don't know. I at this point, look, come on, it's been out for like 3 months.
Yeah, it's been 3 months, man. I mean, at this point, I don't think as content creators we're obligated to put spoiler alert at this point. I mean that.
At this point.
I mean, at this
it's
point,
available everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's streaming on Paramount Plus for free. I mean, it's all over the place. So yeah, all due respect, I just don't think that because here's the thing, man. We don't know what people have seen and not seen. As content creators, we just try to be responsible. And like when the movie first came out, Jake, I can speak for Jake and myself. I know we did not give any spoilers. We were very responsible. We didn't give leaks out. We didn't do thumbnails that revealed stuff. We're very, very mindful. Try to be very mindful of everyone. But there comes a point where it becomes kind of like a realistic expectation that if you were going to see the movie, that you've probably seen it. And now, especially with the streaming, you can make an argument there were places in the world that were locked down. But so I get that, and I get that. Yeah. That's fair. However, that's not the case anymore. The internet's locked down last time I checked. In fact, we're streaming on it, so I know it's working. So I'm just saying it's out there. It's been out there for a while. So no, I'm sorry if anything was ruined by our conversation. Go watch the movie.
Yeah,
you'll like it.
I mean, I think everyone in our little collective and in our little group, I feel like we all really handled that very well with the spoilers. Like we were I made a whole post about it. I was like, do not watch this video if you have not seen Scream 5 yet. I do not want to spoil this for anybody. I really don't want to do that, but come on, it's been 3 months. Like we want to talk about this. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, we have a few more comments if you're okay with getting to those.
No, I've got some time. I have an extended. You're getting the extended cut. I have more time than I thought I was going to have. So,
well, we just had another big spoiler here, Steven, unfortunately.
No,
Darth Vader is Luke's dad, apparently. So,
bro,
I don't know. So that's just really not cool, man.
That's not cool, bro. That movie's come on, man. That movie's only 30, 40, 45 years old, whatever. Now, I mean, that's not fair. Come on, man.
Come on. Okay,
come on, man.
I will say Critical Overlord is just killing it here.
I'm looking at that.
Good information here.
And after you read this, he's got another one you got to read right after this. Critical Overlord, you're the bomb, man. This is like the trifecta of content creators breaking the news, baby, live.
I'm going to have Critical on a stream sometime. The guy's fantastic. Another great content creator here, by the way, if you're not subscribed to him. He says that production office for Scream 6 was filed on January 12th, 2022. Scream 5 wasn't even out yet.
They already knew it.
Blackmore already had a shop waiting to be filled.
Now, pull his next one.
The college campus one?
Yes.
This one? Yeah, the college campus was no doubt scouted for filming reasons.
Hold on. Give me a microphone so I can just drop it, baby. Drop the mic and walk out exit stage left.
Steven, I applaud you.
Thank you. And thank you, Critical, for actually... Dude, that's like hyper speed, man, getting this information. And so Critical Overlord has confirmed that the theory I've posted earlier and now we're talking about sounds real. That's 4 lines of evidence, man.
Yeah,
that's 4 now.
There's a lot of evidence here. I'm pretty sold with this. I'm not gonna lie.
I am too.
I do want to say, so no one goes out there saying, well, KillJoy Jake said that this is happening, so why is it not happening? If it doesn't end up happening, it is a theory as of right now. But we have a lot of we got a lot of evidence going into this now, though. I'm really thinking we go to this college campus for Scream 2, Scream 6, Scream Forever After, whatever we want to call it.
That's right. And you know what else is interesting about that comment is that it was licensed out or reserved or whatever he said prior to the release of 5, which tells me or tells us what, Jake? Someone had a plan. I got a plan for a movie to come for Scream 6. And you don't rent out this space for a movie that's not going to be made. Now, you could make the argument maybe they were just going to do it as a placeholder. You could say that. Jake, I think there's funny business going on. I think these fast, sudden, aggressive announcements are not aggressive at all now. I think they've been planned for months, and they're just dropping it to us like it's sudden. What do you think?
I'm starting to really think that because Steven, when we had that announcement initially about like, oh, the release date for the next film is it's less than a year away. Like what? Yeah. I remember hearing that and just being like horrified. I'm like, please don't rush into this. Please don't do that. But with that news, there's a lot of other things that have gone on that it's like they had this planned. They knew this was going to be a success.
I think so, man.
But another thing I'm starting to remember all those comments when they were talking about like the writers had this like interview where they had specifically said they're like, we tried to pack all of our ideas for a Scream film into Scream 5 because we felt like this was our one chance. That's a load of BS, I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking that's a bunch of crap.
Especially now. Especially now knowing that they've had this reserve since the 12th. Come on now. They know what's going on, man. They're probably being coached by the studio. You know, here's what you want to say, here's what you don't want to say. And because here's the thing, man, if we really had any inkling that there was going to be a Scream 6 before 5, the urgency to see 5 would not have been there. We would have still been, I mean, I'm talking about overall. Of course, we're going to go see it. But, you know, I remember, like, even on my channel, even on your channel, I remember all of us were talking in the collective. We were all saying, look, go get your tickets now. You need to buy your tickets now. We've got to show the studio that we want the next movie, that this was not a mistake. And all of the hype and I was glad to do it, and I'll do it again for 6, but all of the hype that we helped, and all the creators, not just us, generate to get pre-sales done and to get people, all of that would not quite have had an effect that it did if everyone already knew it didn't matter if you go or not. Oh, I'll just wait then. If we're going to get 6, I'll just hang on until, you know, I'll just wait till it comes on video. So I think that
and
that's
I agree
interesting.
With you.
Very interesting, man.
I 100% agree with you. I think that I don't necessarily know if, like, you know, if just all of the YouTube creators were responsible for that. But I will say,
no, I'm just contributing to it. That's what I'm saying.
I
helping to build the hype. That's all.
And I think another big thing for me was the fact that we had all of this wonderful marketing for this movie too. That got it. Like, honestly, that was another thing that got me so excited. Like, I was naturally so excited for this film, seeing the marketing done so well. We have obviously have our criticisms of it now with the trailer, with kind of being a little too obvious who the killers were. But I will say, I think the marketing for this movie was a home run for the most part. Mm-hmm. They sold tickets. They put people in chairs to watch this thing. And now we have basically like a whole new aspect of the franchise being brought back to life. And I'm very excited. It's really exciting to be a Scream fan right now. And I don't know, it's just amazing. I'm so excited for 6. I really am.
I am too, man. And then I wonder, like, are they going to follow, and we've talked about it before, like, it was so successful. Do you follow that same mold? Do you continue that same path of marketing? Do you replicate? I'm not saying Two Brash Sarah or anything maybe like that close, but maybe you create somebody else or some other. I mean, are they going to throw all the, you know, everything in the kitchen sink again, or do you think there's going to be more scaled back, like a traditional marketing campaign?
That's tough, because I feel like if maybe they do the same thing, we're going to notice the same inklings that they gave us in the last bit of marketing, which kind of led into some context clues of things that happened in the last film. Like, for example, Dewey dying. Like, they put him at the forefront of a lot of the marketing. You got to meet the guy if you went and stayed at Stu's house or whatever.
Yeah.
He was hanging out. I feel like if they do that again with like Courtney Cox, it's going to be way too obvious what is going to happen to her character in Scream 6. I really hope that they do it differently.
Yes. Yeah, don't do that, please.
Don't do that. Because I love the explosive marketing they did with Scream 5. And Radio Silence has a history of this. I don't know if you've ever looked into some of their previous stuff, but You can go longer. Just saw your chat.
It's working out. Yeah, we can keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
keep going.
Listen. Like I said, the stream is very relaxed. Hi. Let's see. I got my parents coming in here too and saying hi to me.
What's up, Mom? I want to say hi to your mom again, man. Hey.
She just waved and left. So, like I said, Steven, though, if you gotta go, please just say you
I'll
gotta
let
go.
you know.
There's no pressure. Yeah, no pressure to be hanging out with us. I just appreciate you for coming on here for an hour and talking about your awesome theory here. So.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate the invitation. I'm very honored to be the first, man. This is there's only one first.
Yes.
Right?
You popped my. Okay. Maybe I don't say that. Maybe I don't finish that sentence.
I popped your live stream.
There we go. Yeah, I'm like, I probably shouldn't finish that on in a YouTube video. But
Right.
yeah, what I was gonna go for though, and Aiden's already on it. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Devil's Due marketing. Have you ever seen any of the videos from that?
I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
so they had this thing that like this promotional thing. They had this car drive around New York City and this little like demon baby, because that's what the movie's. The movie's basically just a found footage take on like Rosemary's Baby. So they had like this little demon baby like jump out at people, like the window would roll down and like
that's
this demon
awesome.
baby. They put it. It was like a viral marketing campaign. They put this video out. It
cool.
got a bunch of views. It's like, wow, that's a really great idea to market your movie, you know. And I'm to my knowledge, that film did really well. So once again, we see that here with Radio Silence having an influence over the marketing. I'm sure there was somebody else in charge of the marketing, but it's like every project they're attached to, there's always some kind of bit of explosive marketing. They were a great choice for this new Scream film. I really think so.
Yeah, man. I agree, and I love the fact that they actually honored the past. Like, they weren't just directors hired in to do a film like we've seen, like Halloween 5, where the director has never even seen a Halloween movie and he's directing the film. Like, are you kidding? So, this is like the polar opposite, because Radio Silence not only has seen them, but they love them. They know them. They love Wes Craven's work. And you could tell by the care they took in it. And Kevin Williamson alluded to that. And Jamie Kennedy, remember, on his YouTube channel, broke down in emotional tears because of how much they revered the past, how much they cared for those characters and and Wes. And to me, it shows in the movie. It's not flawless. Of course, there's things I would like to see have done a little different, but that's with any movie generally anyway. But I think overall, they earned my trust. They earned my optimism. Let's put it that way. Like, I'm optimistic
that's a really good
for
way
6.
to say it. Yeah. I would agree. I am optimistic for 6. I'm expressing concern naturally, I think.
I am
some things,
too.
but I'm way less concerned, I think, with some of with now more things that I know. With Critical Overlord, by the way, just another shout out to that guy. Just wonderful
man.
content creator, giving us some great information to add to the conversation here.
Bro, we need to have a stream with Critical, man, with the three of us.
I just messaged him today about it. Like, I just sent him a message. I was like, dude, I got to get you on a stream, man. Like, you put so many great ideas out there in your videos. We gotta talk. We gotta do this. We gotta go back and forth a little bit. So
I'd love to get in on that action with you, man. I would love that. That would be so much fun. That would be so great.
Well, so you can have 10 people on a stream from this is something I just learned from setting all this up today. And I'm just like, how crazy would it be if we had like the whole Lethal Collective, like Critical Overlord, like Master Chaos, Zoe Crawford, like just everybody.
Yeah.
Massive
Gory
panel.
B movie would be a
Gory
great
B
guest.
movie would be,
Oh, man.
Like, how nutty would that stream be? It would just be insane, you know?
It would be beautiful chaos.
Yes.
Beautiful chaos. I would eat every bit of that up. That would be so fun, dude.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So if I can make that happen, that would be sick. If we can align a time to get 10 content creators all together on one stream, I mean, that's a feat to accomplish, but
it is.
It would be sick. It would be sick if we could do that.
It would. Love it.
But yeah, great. Steven, I'm probably going to wrap up a little bit here, but
I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining me and talking your crazy theory with me, dude.
Listen,
oh
bro.
My God.
You're more than welcome. I appreciate the opportunity to share it and for us to talk about it online together for the first time in a stream. And man, we'll see, but it's looking more and more, especially after Critical added a little extra sauce on it at the end. I think that it's pretty compelling. I'll put that way. It is.
Yes.
I think it is.
Yeah. Really just exciting news here. Thank you to everyone who showed up. Thank you for all the super chats, by the way, to everybody. Much love. Don't forget to kill it out there. You know the drill. We're just gonna end it. Thank you to everybody for showing up. Peace out, everybody.
Bye, guys.